Hello and welcome. We at Streaming Rainbow are storytellers, and we recognize that there is a certain responsibility that goes with that, to tell stories that are important. That is what we're here to do today with Halley's Children's Challenger. We want to ask questions that matter. I'm Serafina Smith, and I'll be running the game for my wonderful friends, David, Cam, Eli, and Courtney, playing Hathor, Anush, Dionysus, and Yelena, respectively. Last episode, we had a tense meeting with Gilgamesh, learned a bit about Josh, got reacquainted with Mirwine, got some equipment as well as Anush and Kukulin on board the shuttle, and launched it to its awaiting destiny. Through bravery and some unorthodox use of powers, the entire crew survived the explosion and got out of the shuttle to parachute down to safety. Krista McAuliffe's chute, however, did not open, and she had to save herself with a dramatic and visible use of her powers, which was seen by the entire country. We're going to skip time a bit now. The crew of the Challenger were saved, and the sphere was recovered from the remains of the cockpit by Mirwine. But that was where the good news ended. The world was suddenly aware of the existence of empowered people, deemed metahumans or metas by the media. The U.S. government, already in a state of chaos and disarray, used this sudden revelation as a chance to distract the public from their actions by giving them a new threat to protect them from. Which would have been hard enough, but it quickly became clear that the U.S. government, and indeed governments around the world, had acquired full dossiers on all of you, including names, aliases, addresses, safe houses, and powers, and were moving to acquire you by whatever means necessary. Hippolyta is arrested in Greece. Veerman is taken into custody after being beaten near to death by a crowd in Oslo. The public, by and large, swallows the fear of metas completely. There are public demonstrations against the meta menace. The belief that the Challenger disaster was some sort of terrorist act carried out by metahumans becomes part of the cultural story. But there is another story underneath the surface in tales that have been told for many years thanks to Yelena. Tales of the kind and all too human Eternals. As a result, there is an underground movement of support for empowered people, though their voice is currently a small one in the cultural discussion. In the Middle East and Europe, there are sightings of metas unknown to you, presumably the 12 anointed moving to gather power of their own. Their actions further affect public opinion of metas negatively. We join our characters, however, shortly after the events of last session, before they realize all this. There's a gathering at Yelena's Florida cottage safe house. The four of you, the crew of the Challenger, Purrit, Hild, Josh, Bast, Pagan, Hermes, Kukulin, and Loki. The astronauts are being brought up to speed on what it means to be empowered, and Hurt is pacing nervously with an unfocused anxiety that refuses to come into clarity. Something is about to happen. Where in the house would each of you like to be when it does?
I have a couple questions first.
Absolutely.
So, first of all, I found out that about 26,000 feet is the highest a human could be without, which I know is well short of 8 miles. But I would like to be about 20,000 feet. And is there any way I could have tried to track the ball in the debris or try to find that?
It was within the cockpit. It got stuck in the cockpit, so.
Okay. That was one question.
Okay.
Dionysus is very close to the bar. Wherever there is alcohol is where Dionysus is.
Uh, Hathor's probably out back, just probably by himself.
Okay.
Doesn't care to do the new kid debrief.
Yeah, I actually think that, all joking aside, Dionysus is close to the new people, not to like be a part of the conversation, but to help like calm, keep everybody calm.
Mm.
How have they been responding to Yelena, knowing that she knew what was going to happen to them?
There is a lot of tension, and you think there's some mistrust under that tension. Um, it's hard to say.
Mm. Um, I think if that's the case, she's been previously very quiet, will answer questions if she's asked something directly. But she's probably doing her best to give them space, which if they're taking up the main portion of the house, she's been around the peripheral maybe also going outside in the back just to sort of recenter herself.
Okay. Anush?
Is it possible for Anoush to be outside?
I mean, it sounds like there's some private stuff going on in the back, but um,
I
yeah,
mean, if he wants to, I don't know. It's not really private. He's just. I think Hathor is probably just contemplating the implications of what happened and
yeah,
doesn't necessarily care about. He's not very. He's never been good at that stuff, anyways. So he's just
sure.
like let Yell and Dio handle that, and Hild.
I
So
can't have you in the front, but you can be in the back if you want.
Yeah, I think Anoush is just like looking up at the sky.
Okay. All right. In the house, without warning, the front door of the cottage is rammed open. Two lines of soldiers in camo and body armor come in and aim M16A2s at everyone visible. 6 of them in all, spread out to the left and right of the entranceway. Afterwards, a man walks in wearing a perfectly tailored suit and carrying a portable phone like the kind that Hild uses, and he smiles a friendly smile and holds out the phone and says, "I have a call for Hafthor of Bevenberg." And everyone freezes.
Hathor slides the very Floridian sliding glass door. Then the screen. Walks in. Gives a look to Yelena. Doesn't even try to use his powers. But tries to pass as much of an apology as he can. And then he answers the phone.
On the other end of the phone, you hear the voice of a man who you used to just call George, but the rest of the country calls President George Herbert Walker Bush. He says, "Hello, Frank," or do you not go by Frank anymore?
Call me whatever you want, Georgie.
Before we go any further into this, you should know you're surrounded, and I've had to give orders to shoot if anything seems strange at all, so you're going to want to be very careful and very obedient. Do you understand?
I do.
We're going to have a lot of talk about things, you and I. But first things first, you'll all be restrained, bagged, and transported to a secure facility. If you decide to try any tricks or make any resistance, there'll be blood on your hands. Is that clear?
Sure.
All right. You can hand me back now.
He hands it back to whoever it was.
The man in the nice suit takes the phone. He nods.
As a medical expert, right, Yelena would be trained in some amount of sign language to deal with uh, deaf people or kids, right? Some amount of like basic.
Sure.
I think behind his back, he just kind of messages, "Get ready to run."
Okay. She's seen the sign.
And then I think he just Hathor puts his hands out to surrender.
All right. The men continue to aim their M16s at y'all. They, it doesn't need a empathy roll to see that they are nervous and they could fire. So, someone walks forward to put handcuffs on you, Hathor.
He puts them. He puts. Do you want it in the front or the back? He kind of gives. Okay. Puts his hand behind his back.
All right. They put the handcuffs on you, and they begin to bring out handcuffs for everyone. Is anyone resisting? Or doing anything?
Theo is going to sip his wine. One last sip. And then for the first time ever, I'm going to use my first and only time, I'm going to use my power of Bacchanal.
And
I'm going to attempt to incite ritual madness.
Okay. You're attempting to recite ritual madness with these people with M16s that are...
Well, because it's euphoria. That was the idea with Bacchanal. It was euphoria,
Sure.
not aggression.
Okay.
Necessarily. But, I mean, listen, you talked me into it, Sarah. Thanks. It's going to be gaslighting.
Okay.
It's like, fine. I'm happy to do that. And I'm going to spend another point to raise it by 2, which makes it an epic. And the gaslighting feeling is just I'm trying to think of something that, because I have to feel it too.
Right.
It's going to be, I think it's fine. I think at this point he doesn't care. It's going to be lethargy.
Okay.
And just like, yeah, heavy, like everything's heavy, and they're just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Like, what a day.
Okay. Let me, for the troops. Okay.
What's the roll that's being made here, and can we also resist it?
It's a rapport roll, and you can resist it with will.
Hell yeah.
Everybody who entered the room that wasn't already here, is not one of Yelena's people, is getting a -1 to their will roll.
I have a superb.
I couldn't hear that.
I rolled a superb.
Okay.
I only have an average.
Okay. The initial roll was an epic, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so everyone starts feeling sluggish and just like, oh, should have slept better last night. And the soldiers are still like doing their job, but they're like all of a sudden doing it very slowly and half-heartedly.
I think at that point, Dio just kind of looks to Hermes and says, "Get their guns. Just get it away from them. Like, if you can, like, just something. Like, we gotta unarm them at the very least. Like, we've gotta, because there's more outside. That's what we heard, right? Or did we hear that?
You didn't hear that, but the person on the phone did say you're surrounded. Whether you overheard that over the phone or not is up to you.
It's safe to assume that there's more outside.
Yeah.
So, the big thing is taking care of this group right now.
Okay.
And them not having weapons pointed at us would probably be better. But
All right, so everyone's feeling lethargy. They're still doing their thing. They put cuffs on Ellison. They put cuffs on Ron. They put cuffs on Hild.
We're all drugged from this, right? Like we're all.
Yeah.
Just a little tired. Okay. You're lethargic, so. Anybody who failed, I mean, Hathor didn't. But if he's choosing to go along with it, then Dio can't stop that.
By all appearances, my friend.
And they do explore the rest of the house, bring everyone else in, explore the backyard. Someone else comes to get you, Anush.
Oh yeah, Anush wouldn't have been affected by this actually, right?
Right, you're not.
He wasn't in my zone.
In the backyard.
Who comes to get me?
A soldier with an M16. He's wearing camouflage and body armor.
And he just comes and puts handcuffs on me?
Yeah.
I kill him.
How do you kill him?
What can I do now?
Other than what you already could do, you can take powers and store them for later use.
I turn into fire and I kill him.
Yeah. Okay, you can turn. We can say that you have taken the gift of fire from Krista preemptively. That's not a problem. It will allow you to shoot flames from your hands if you wish to use that to try to kill this guy.
I think if he touches me, my hands just like start shooting fire.
Okay, roll shoot.
Shoot? Amazing. Yeah. I don't have that.
This will be fun for you.
That's below average. I don't know what happens. That's actually so worse. It's like 2 below average.
Wonderful. Okay, so you burst into flames, and he screams and starts shooting you.
Amazing.
Do any of the soldiers in the house then move?
They are going to be moving once they hear this, yes.
Okay, I would like to use the moment that they start taking steps, and I'm sure that 1 or 2 are going to stick with us.
Yeah.
To guard, but I would imagine, right, any tactical thing is move towards the threat and leave the minimum amount required to secure your current prisoners. I would like to use that moment to also run back towards the backyard and like tackle one of the soldiers and use my powers to get Yelena as far as I could. Using the distraction, essentially, to get her out of the door and as far as I can in the zone.
I see. All right, we'll start with the gunshot. Oh, you're lucky. You can roll a athletics.
I don't want to.
Okay. In that case, you are hit, but it's not a good hit. However, it is an automatic weapon. The minimum is 3 stress, so you take 3 stress.
Okay. I think that's a mild consequence I receive.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you are shot with an automatic weapon. He's screaming, and at that time, Hafthor, the men hear the shot, and 3 of them run out, and you go to tackle one.
Yeah, it's almost more performative than anything. It's like he's handcuffed, so he just kind of shoulder bumps one of the ones, and acts as though he's gonna try to like take him down or whatever. Like he's trying to struggle, and is just using that so they focus on him. And as far as his zone will allow, I would like to shoot Yelena out of the open door and as far away as possible. Hoping that she can make some plant matter to land.
Fuck. I'm drugged to hell right now. Okay.
Yep. And I'm not.
I want to do. We know what the Challenger crew's abilities are now. Yes. If that was information shared.
Yeah, that is information you have.
I think I want to try and get Judith, because she's now so fucking scared that Hafthor is going to get shot again.
Yeah.
+2 rapport. I have a fantastic for rapport to convince Judith to do her best to protect.
Are you attempting to convince her through speech or jumping into her mind and...
I'm using the Morrigan's ability.
All right. Okay, let me...
Is it at disadvantage because she's flying 20 miles per hour out of the back door right now? Or the front door? Or yeah, the back door.
Okay, yeah, so you jump into her mind, you make the manipulation, and she has no choice but to do what you say. What is it you will have her do?
I don't think she's going to be able to... I'm not asking her to have anybody run, but just don't let anybody get shot. And she's trying to... She doesn't know what Hafthor's doing.
Yeah.
And she's so angry.
Right.
But she still loves that idiot. So it's a plea to just protect everyone and to give her time. That's it.
All right, so you do that as you are being blasted out the door by telekinetic force.
Into the forest, I assume?
Into the forest.
Yep. Yeah, his idea was to like essentially almost like a cannon, shoot her at a 30-ish degree angle, hoping that she can use a canopy leaves or something on her way down.
If I have another action, I can try and get something to help me.
Yeah, I'll allow you to do that. No problem.
Oh, by the way, I rolled a legendary. It's pretty easy when you start at superb.
It is.
I have an epic. to try and get the branches.
No problem.
Something
Okay.
to grab her.
Yeah, so you are shot out of the house into the forest. The branches of the trees welcome you with gentleness and solidity to stop your extreme flight, and you are caught by the trees.
Once I'm no longer in Dio's zone, does that effect drop?
It does, yes.
Okay. Then she's not going to run back towards the house. She's going to try and run in the direction that they would have to leave by vehicles.
Okay.
So she's trying to like flank and cut them off as quickly as she can.
Okay. You can see that the house is surrounded by more soldiers with M16s in paramilitary vehicles that are unmarked.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, inside, your Hathor, your dash and crash into them has succeeded in knocking you and two of the soldiers down. There was some firing of guns as they fell, but no one was harmed. Meanwhile, in the back, this guy is just screaming, and he's joined by one more. As they look at this person made of fire, and the one that came out rather, is shouting, "Put up your hands and cease use of this power."
I put up my hands and I stop being on fire.
Please do not resist. You are being taken to a location of security. Please hold out your hands.
I hold out my hands.
The first soldier very nervously comes with handcuffs and quickly straps them on, and then backs up.
I look at all of them. Can I see their faces?
Can you see their faces? Yes, you can see their faces.
I say to all of them, I have seen your faces now, and I live forever. And I walk towards them.
All right, they fall into place beside you. Hathor, someone is dragging you up off the ground, but Yelena is down.
Yeah, Hathor. Hathor loves his idiot wife because he knows that she's gonna try to break him loose, but hopes that that's later than today.
So is Hathor on the floor as I walk in, getting up?
Now he's being dragged up.
Got it. Okay. Can I fall on him?
No, he's dragged up.
Hey, I was just wondering if I could just fall and touch him. That's all I'm trying to do, okay?
You are taken to a secure vehicle with bags on your heads.
How far? The way that I've imagined where her cottage is, it is a secluded area, which means there would at the very least be one road that they would have been able to get into it for a bit. And she's trying to, like I said, skirt as far past as she can. This is going to take them some time. I'm sure there are people that are pursuing her. but no one knows her woods like she knows her woods.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to do is two things.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get a raven under my command. And I would also like to prepare the root system that travels underneath that road for like a 3 to 4 foot section.
Uh-huh.
Not to do it yet, but to get ready to do it on my command to pull away so that there would be a sinkhole as soon as cars start driving over it.
Okay.
And then she's just waiting. And that's it. That's a good to get a raven.
Okay. One shows up in the forest, flaps onto a tree branch next to you, and eyes you curiously.
For now, she's just keeping it under, like, just close by, ready to take a command when she gives it.
Mm-hmm.
And then for getting the plant life to do what she wants it to, that goes to a grate.
Okay.
But again, that's just something that hasn't happened yet, but is
Mm-hmm.
in the works.
All right. Okay, so it doesn't take all that much time for the vehicles to come bearing their prize down this road.
She's standing where she's hidden by a tree as much as she possibly can be. And she has the bird fly into a window on the same side of the road that she has into the vehicle that she thinks Hathor's in to try and make eye contact with him.
I got a bag on my head.
Fuck
Sure.
me running.
I would, however, am I in the car? Are we in like a paddy wagon style thing?
Yeah.
Like a SWAT vehicle is what I
Yeah.
imagine? Okay. Can I hear the driver?
Yes.
Would like to launch a mental attack into the driver to take over his mind.
All right. Go ahead. It's going to be difficult because you can't see him and anything like that, but
I like my odds, and I got one fate point. And I wanted
Sure
to wait
do.
until we were on the road.
I just need to know what the fuck is going on.
I don't remember what Superb +1 is. Fantastic?
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, he does not have much of a will. So that is enough to take him over.
The driver pulls the gun, shoots his own passenger guy in the head, and immediately turns the vehicle to flip it.
Are we in the
Guns-
same car?
Yes, all of us, I would imagine, are in the same paddy wagon. Guns it, and then pulls the emergency brake and turns the wheel.
Then the road is going to collapse.
Cool.
And she's running towards the vehicle.
All right. So everybody in the vehicle, shit is happening, y'all. There is a shot, and then there is a scream, and then there is a sudden jet forward, and then a sudden stop, and a sudden turn, and a sudden spin, and you are upside down, and you are turning around, and you come to crash into a sinkhole, and everyone will take 2 stress for this.
So, as like we're lying there, after all that shit has happened, can I push my thumbs together until they break and then slide off my handcuffs?
I was gonna say once we get to the ground, I was just gonna use a mental ability to break everybody.
That's fair. I don't know that.
If you want to break your thumbs, that's totally fine.
All I know is that.
But my whole thing next turn was going to be
the car has
freeing everybody
crashed.
out of this car. And specifically for us to prepare actions in this armored vehicle, I want to use that time because they're going to come to this armored vehicle. We created a tunnel. So everybody, and that's what Halfthor is doing. He's telling everybody they're going to come. Somebody's going to have to open this door. And that's go time. And everybody have your move ready to go.
I say really loud in my mind, well, I already broke my thumbs.
Oh my god.
Give it a couple minutes. It'll be fine.
We just have to end this scene.
Yeah, and I would just like to prepare an action. Yeah, I think I'm going to prepare an action as much as I can to take over the mind of the farthest back soldier that I can see whenever they open this door.
Okay.
Can I?
And I'll have my hands up.
Take the bag off of my head and touch Halfthor to get his power.
Yeah.
If he'll allow me, I don't do it really fast.
I don't think Halfthor would allow it.
That's fair. I back off.
I think he's too. Not for the touching part. I think if there's an option to not allow his power to transfer, he would not want that. He doesn't. Halfthor hates his power and doesn't want anybody else to have it. And quite frankly, especially not Anoush.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had your power. That's
yeah. That's why the Morrigan scared him so much. He was like, "This is what I can do on a crazier level."
So right now, the only people that are with it in this vehicle are either us or controlled by us. Uh-huh. Is that driver still controlled by you, Halfthor?
I would
no. There was a driver.
Dead.
Did you kill the driver?
That was kind of my hope, is that he would. He should be incapacitated if I think that's the way it works. I'm trying to find my thing right now, but he can be incapacitated after, to leave, essentially. I can just, Vulcan pinches shit, and he's done. So I got out.
The reason I ask is because if I give a power to, not power, but if I give an emotion that is, calm certainty to everybody, I don't want to give it to somebody that's bad.
Oh, no. Yeah, he'll have calm certainty in his dream.
Got it.
That's what's going on.
I rolled a superb to pass along that power to everybody. That power, that feeling of readiness and no fear, so everybody in the. So basically, I'm trying to make it so that everybody in that thing can not have any kind of disadvantages of being fucking terrified and rattled to do this action.
Okay. So we're waiting on a secondary vehicle to show up.
Yeah, there are other vehicles in the group of vehicles. There are several, and there are already people with guns heading towards the crashed truck.
Okay.
Who is in our vehicle? Just as a reminder.
Just y'all.
All of the empowered people?
All the empowered people, which is the three of you, not Yelena. Where'd I put my list? Yeah. The Challenger crew, Hurt, Hill, Josh, Bast, Pagan, Hermes, Kukulin, and Loki. Yes, they even took the cat.
I'm going to try to touch all of them and just...
You can only store one power at a time.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's a little OP, dude. Terrifying.
I don't know. Look. It also seems a bit scary to do that. So I would it's a big moment. I wanna touch Hild.
I would like to, in between the vehicles, so they have a safe space. I'm trying to create a barrier. I'd like to have trees start to fall
Oh, okay.
and like maybe, yeah, big trees, big branches. I want to create a barrier in between my people and the soldiers that are incoming.
Okay.
We're getting a bramble wall, full Sleeping Beauty. Let's go.
Yeah. So hold on. Superb. It's just a good.
It's just good. In response to your need, a couple of trees do crash down onto the um, road. They're not big trees, but they'll be an obstacle.
Okay. And she's running towards the vehicles and trying to, I don't know, get to her people. She still doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. You head to there and you reach the door of the sort of paddy wagon military vehicle thing uh, before the soldiers get to it because of your clever ruse of trees. What do you do?
Run
Oh, it's
as
open now?
fast as you can. Run.
The doors are locked.
That's what
She
I'm saying. The
can't.
doors are. Oh, it's an armored vehicle. That's what I. Yeah. Sorry. No, it's fine. I just like this is why I made this. I made us a tiny fortress that they have to come to get us out of,
Okay,
so we
well
can
then
funnel them.
she's hiding, I guess, behind a fucking furthest wheel well she can. I don't know.
It's all good. I understand. There was no way to make a plan, so this is just like what we got, right? But it's
All right. You hide, and the men eventually get across and over the trees. Uh, they are alarmed. You can tell that they have no idea what they're doing. They're entering into a situation that is completely strange and new to them, and they are scared, and so they are trigger happy. So they are heading to the back of the vehicle. You can hear shouting, everybody. You can hear the shouting outside. You're feeling calm. You're feeling determined. One of them goes to
we
open
hear
the
shouting
lock.
outside. You said
Yeah,
I would like to hear the farthest voice I could hear. I would like to take over their mind before this door opens.
do it. Make your roll.
Take a +1 to your will.
Okay, and I still have my what's it called point because I didn't need to use it. +2. What's 2 plus superb again?
Epic.
Epic. I'll push that up by 2. Um. So whatever epic +2 is.
Okay, amazing. I'm gonna roll anyway, but yeah, you got it.
Immediately from behind, pop, 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 pop. Each of the soldiers fall, and then, because it's a M16A2, like you said,
Yeah.
that's semi-automatic. You can empty about 10 bullets before anybody could react, and he immediately turns on his boss and says, "Get Georgie back on the phone."
Uh, okay, so you see through this man's eyes. Um, Everybody else, you're just hearing gunshots and screaming. You see through this man's eyes. He sees the man in the well-tailored suit step out of the car. Look, he there is a stain. He might have wet himself. Um, so he pulls out the phone, makes the call, gets on the line. Yes, I need to talk to the president. Yes, the president. Yes, right now. No, I don't care about that. Mr.
There's
President.
sorry, there's like dead soldiers on the ground.
Yes.
Can I get keys to open this vehicle from someone?
If you want to be seen, you can. Yeah.
I think she just peeks her head up over the window to look into the car and be like, "What do I do?" Continue. I don't know. She's panicking.
He holds out the phone to the soldier.
Soldier answers the phone in an unfamiliar voice. But I think Hathor, every time he started to embody these people right, would really work on his like cadence and like to make it so distinct from the different versions of people that he was at simultaneously, more specifically, but to make these like really full people. He was really deep into that thespian work, and so I think, I think so. I think there's like a very familiar cadence in the first few greetings, right? Maybe it's like maybe Halfdoor is the only person who's called George H. Walker Bush Georgie in his life, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And he says, the guy on the phone says, "Hey, Georgie. Good to hear from you again after all these years. Now, you gave me a warning a few minutes ago and said that there would be blood on my hands if I tried. There's a lot of blood on this road, and none of it is from the ones that I love and care about. So let me do you a favor. Because you're still that stupid little boy that was an intern in the CIA 40 years ago. And the only reason you sit behind that desk that you're answering this phone from is because I wanted you there. We could have ruled this world and this country and enriched ourselves and put ourselves at the top of the heap, living lives of luxury and manipulation, filled with endless thirst for power, and instead we took our time to ensure that the worst of us, because we are humans, that the worst of us did not get to enjoy that. So I will return the favor. If your men open this door, they will die. And every man you send after me, or someone I love and care about, will die. Until there is no more men between me and you. Have a good day, Georgie." And then I let go of the guy. And I wait in the truck.
Yelena, you see the man who was holding the phone collapse, and the man in the well-tailored suit reaches down, gets the phone. "Sir?" Fuck. All right. He nods, and he gets back in the car. He turns the car around, and he leaves.
The doors break open. Hathor would like to fly as high as he could, where he could still see the car and follow it.
All right.
He doesn't say anything to anybody. Hathor, I don't think has actually uttered a word since he talked on the phone.
Yeah.
Everything has been mental communication or movement, and now he's trailing.
Do we get the impression that there is? Do we get the impression that there's no one else that people have left? Like, if the door is open to this vehicle, and Halfthor has left with no explanation to any fucking person in this vehicle,
Yeah.
do we think that we're okay? Like, or are we now like?
There is outside. There is silence and a lot of dead bodies.
Okay.
I'll turn to
Dio.
Dio and I'll
Yeah.
say, he fixed it.
No, he didn't. And he hops out. Dio is incandescent right now. And he looks around, spots Yelena, and says, "Is there a boat close by?
Yeah.
Let's go." And he just he's like, "Take me. Let's go. Everybody out. Let's go." And we'll take everybody to a boat to get on the water, where at least they've got distance and the protection of the fucking ocean.
As we get to the boat, I haven't said anything until this moment. I look at you and I say, he will fix it.
I don't fucking care. Not
Yes,
my
you
business.
do.
Not my problem. I don't care. Very obviously, Hathor has his own priorities, and they're the only ones that matter. And guess what? So do I. So let's get the fuck out of here and see what we can do. Because
There are
everything's
few
fucked.
people in this world who have been called a god. Those are people who can affect change the most. He will fix
Hey,
it.
friend, I don't fucking know you. I don't fucking know this guy.
Just
We're done.
fucking drive the
Let's
boat. I
go.
can't fucking have this argument right now. Go.
I've been driving. I'm sorry that your husband is an idiot. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Bring it.
I don't have the fucking time for you.
Okay, get off the fucking boat.
I'm gonna touch Dionysus and I'm gonna take your power.
Okay.
And I
Good luck.
apologize.
Good luck. You also lose shit.
I know that's a epic empathy.
Yeah.
And I am just going to project calmness and serenity on everybody in this boat.
Okay. Everybody gets to roll. We know it's happening, so you get to roll a will to make it to whatever. Dio fails, so he's calm and serene and driving, but that doesn't. He also knows what's happening, so he doesn't. That doesn't change anything.
All right, you're out of the boat. Hathor, you're watching the man drive away. He is heading up. He's going north. You figure he might be going towards DC.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. Once I see, I'll just follow him for maybe 10 minutes, a couple miles, right? And once I see that, it looks like nobody else is following, or he's not, turning back around, or there's no, he's not stopping and pulling off to, come back, Hathor will double back as fast as he can and then try to track he feels like, I feel like it's the kind of thing that him and Yelena have done, of that, that, whole, witch and the warrior thing of, follow this particular whatever, right? And then also Hathor has, a history of, being a woodsman. So I don't know, whatever the role you want, but I would try to track them.
Roll.
I would just try to track them back and catch up.
Yeah.
And then if I see a boat half a mile off the coast, by the time I get back, I'll go fly to the boat.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're out in the water of the Atlantic Ocean.
The only thing he says is nobody's following us, and he sits down. Maybe grabs a chunk of wood from one of the fallen trees and pulls a small knife out of his pocket.
Starts whittling. Brilliant. All right. Do we want to continue from this difficult portion of things where people are stressed, or do we want to skip to another scene?
I do have a question.
Ask.
Where's Josh?
Josh is with you on the boat.
How does he... What is he feeling? I would like to, just...
Oh, calm and serene right now.
Almost three?
That's only for a minute.
Other than that, roll an empathy roll.
I'm good at these.
Good.
Okay. Everything disappeared. A superb.
Superb. Okay. Josh, Josh feels resigned. He feels like this is a part of a pattern that is repeating, and he's used to it. He is unhappy about it, but he is resigned to it. He thinks that this is where they try to use you and then kill you, or just kill you. And then,
Can I go up to him?
yeah,
You seem like you've been through this before.
many times, I think.
I think a lot of times people come to you and expect you to help them in their times of need. Am I wrong in this assumption?
People in their times of needs will come to anyone. It's the people in the times of want that make it difficult.
Who do you go to?
I never been able to go to anyone.
Can I offer you a gift?
Depends on the gift.
Do you not have faith? Faith that a
Faith
gift
is a
offered is a gift
tool.
worth.
Faith is a tool used well by those in need and used manipulatively by those in power. I cannot I cannot just blanket approve of it.
I think faith is like an emotion. I don't think you're wrong. All emotions can be used and manipulated by those in need and those who want power. So let me offer you this instead. I want to touch his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take his miracle power.
Can't.
That is a
Doesn't work.
superb empathy. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. His
I
power is
immediately
untakeable.
raise up. I look at him in the eyes and, with all solemnness, say to him, I'm sorry. I don't think you do have anyone to turn to. I get up immediately and I walk away.
Oh no!
While
Poor
that was
Josh.
happening, I would like to try to. I'm not gonna pull her aside. I'm gonna take Yelena into the air and follow. I don't know, 30 feet above where nobody could hear us. And I think if yeah, I think it yeah. I think at first he just kind of holds her, um, and says, I'm sorry. I didn't know what capabilities they had against our powers. I didn't know what anything. Um, I honestly hoped you would have run, but uh, I'm glad you didn't. And I don't know if what I did was right, but I knew I wanted to get us out of there. And I just did what I could to do that.
You've led a very different life than I have in a lot of ways. And I trust you with everything. But I can't read your mind, especially not now. That was terrifying.
It's not good.
No, that was awful. It felt like you were giving up because I didn't understand. This man came in asking to speak to you, and then nothing. You didn't say anything.
Just tried to apologize.
I know. I'm.
I didn't know. I didn't know if they
I know.
could stop our powers. I didn't know what they could do. I didn't know if they sent other St. George empowered people. I don't. And that's all it was. I really do feel so bad. I didn't mean to cause this pain. I don't. I feel bad that we ended up here. 40 years of social engineering, 100, 200, 400 years of social engineering, and we're exactly where we thought we would end up. Different and otherized, and I feel just more guilty for that.
I just needed you to know that that's what this is. That's what all of that is down there in the boat. It's fear. It's fear manifest. And I think this is a testament that we look to you for quite a bit.
There's, I, I know we've spent some time apart. Too much time. Never again, like you said. And I know we're just out of sync a little bit. But I swear to you now that I will always do everything I can to save you all.
I never doubted it. I don't.
I won't give that up. You don't
Good.
have to worry about that being given up. I will always do whatever it takes for our people and any people to be safe from this kind of thing.
That was never in question for me. I'm. Let's get out of here. Let's get somewhere safe. I don't know. This is.
Okay. I don't know where is safe. But if we're together, it's enough.
It's enough.
Okay. And I think when they get back down, Halfthor tries to offer an apology to everyone for breaking their hands and wrists variously on accident by flipping the vehicle. And then,
As you're apologizing, can I like signal you for a private brain chat?
yeah, sure. You're in a room with Yelena and Halfthor.
This might be nothing. Moments ago, I tried to touch Josh and clear his memory with his miracle powers. It did not work. I thought he was safe because I used Loki's ability for truth on him and got nothing malicious, but I believe now he is able to manipulate our powers.
I had a suspicion that that's the way the quote unquote miracles work. if his nanobots are specifically designed to power and empower, like boost these other ones. Sorry, he wouldn't use nanobots because that's not a term. If the machines in him are, if the machines, if these gifts from the aliens, whatever you want to call them, in him are designed to be boosters, I agree. And I wonder if we just wait, if there is... So at this point, science fiction exists, right? So Hathor now says, if they have like some sort of projection or artificial intelligence, some way to push that through time, through dimensions, we may just be waiting. George Herbert Walker Bush will die. His children, his specifically moronic, idiot, dumb fuck son is gonna die. And we will still be this. And through all that time, more and more technology will advance. And maybe it's just a matter of time before we can use whatever gifts these are against those who would use them to poison us. Josh's abilities open a whole new world of possibility. I agree, Anush. And I think there's a position open for you at Odin's computers.
She's not saying anything, but if this is a place where emotions flow freely, there is... It's a good shock, but shocked to her fucking core. In
Are you part of
positive
that?
way. I'm in the group chat, yeah.
Are you? Was that a group chat or was that? Sorry, I didn't hear
I
that
specifically grabbed it. I don't. If Dio doesn't look like he wants to murder Hathor,
no, you. Oh yeah, Dio has very aggressively not. Yeah. You do not exist.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, no, I didn't. I was just. I didn't. I missed the part of.
Oh yeah. I said the three of us were in a room together. Yeah.
Like,
in our mind.
Knocked her on her ass, shocked. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on him. That's all we can do.
That's all time. Hierarchy needs. We got to get somewhere where our physical bodies are safe.
I think there's a high possibility he could be some sort of mole. If there is no other option, I think he can be neutralized if we remove his head. I don't think he can grow back his limbs. I think he just...
Would it be
his consciousness returns to him. If there are no other options, I understand.
Yeah, I would want evidence of actual and not just suspicion. So please don't cut his head off in the night.
I will not. I will not.
As biblical as that is.
Right? I know. It'd be very ironic, but still.
I think there might be someone we can contact. I don't know how thorough their investigations into us were, but I doubt they've got every address of everybody who's in some offshoot of the coven. There should be someone just up the coast for a few hours that we can probably hold up in their place before we move around.
A lot of indigenous tribes across the Louisiana territory and up in Canada that have a lot of old drawings and maybe some early photographs of people that look a lot like us.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of options, but we got to get safe.
A final piece of information I must share with you all. I have found myself with a new ability to, instead of losing ability that I take or share with another, I can store it for a later time. I've took Hild's ability to manipulate people by speech. I want you to be aware of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then I have one last thing to add too, if we're talking about suspicions. I think we need to be wary of Gilgamesh. The last conversation I had with him, Yelena, you know this more than Anush, but Anush, some of my disagreements with Gilgamesh have not been private. We've never quite gotten along. We've never agreed or seen eye to eye on the way forward. And usually, a man who cannot lose a physical fight has never been short of words in a verbal battle with me. And the last time he just resigned himself, said yes, and left. And then immediately after this happens, I do not believe enough in coincidences to believe that that is an accident. Additionally, he was located not far from the Bank of Silene doing some work when we contacted him.
A man
Okay.
whose legend is to seek immortality for himself and others is not to be trusted. I think he is a buffoon, but I will not underestimate him.
I would just say, just be wary.
Understood.
I wouldn't fully trust him at the time.
I never have.
We need to also, and he immediately turns to Yelena and says, we need to get to San Francisco.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Okay. She'll walk up to Dio.
And then we're out. We're back on the boat, and it's Florida, and it's unseasonably cold, but humid and gross still.
She'll go up to Dio and give him directions for somewhere that's a few hours up the coast that she thinks that they can find somewhere and someone trustworthy enough to go to ground before they all find their way.
Okay.
He just gives you a nod. He would have, while they're all having their weird staring off into space conversation, he would have been working with Hermes and said, like, you know, the protocol. Rebirth. They've had to do this many times. So, you know, just like once again, restart, like, make it look like an accident, that kind of shit of like, we're dead. Like, we're gonna have to, like, Dio has done as much as he can to be not connected to this group of people, but Hermes was seen with them. So, and Hermes, it's not hard to connect Hermes to Dionysus. So he's pretty much put Hermes on messenger duty of like, hey man, like, we got to find a new place. We got to do all that. So,
No problem.
You are also welcome to this boat. It is currently registered to Richard Mahoney, the current CEO of Monsanto.
good.
He and I are definitely not friends, so...
I'll crash it.
Or do some really terrible shit and have him implicated. Whatever, it's up to you.
Oh, I don't need to do terrible shit to have him implicated. I have all the dirt on
Great.
everyone.
Does can I sense Mirwine right now? Are we far enough out?
Yeah, it's easy to sense marijuana right now.
I'd just like to pour it in real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I literally need -4s to not be able to do it. So I just, yeah, he just pops in and tried it. Like, I think I've tried to explain this before, right? Like, almost like a house. It's like I just stay on the porch this time. I'm not trying to read anything. Just like, hey, I just wanted to say how amazing it was to see you and how happy I am. And I don't think I should be the one to have to explain to you what's going to happen, but things are going to be very different, and I don't know when I'll see you again, and I hope it's not 400 years. But I just wanted to tell you that me and Yelena love you, and we care about you. And if there's ever any time you need something, Yelena particularly has killed a lot of people who pollute the ocean on purpose. A lot of CEOs, CFOs, getting mysterious deaths. So we're trying to help you out what we can.
Appreciate that. I'm just happy to have my friends back.
Stay safe, okay?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Closes the connection.
All right. Where do y'all think you make your sort of semi-permanent rest stop here?
I don't know. Pick a spot north of Florida, guys. Don't ask me.
North? Or do we go south?
Whichever direction.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it makes more sense to go to like a Cuba or Jamaica that's severely underdeveloped. It's going to have less surveillance capabilities. There's no strategic bases or anything like that, right? And then and it's on an island, so anything that they have to come to get us, we're going to have pretty good fair warning for. So
I think
it's
this
good.
is.
I think it's as good of a spot for like a couple days. Obviously, you don't want to be on an island for too long, but
I don't. I think Anush definitely recognizes that Hathor has the upper hand in like not only this like espionage, but also the understandings of the modern society. And I think as long as possible, he's going to try to stick next to him.
I mean, Fidel's Cuba is pretty poppin'.
Okay.
And Pagan listens to that and says, I think I've got my own plan.
What do you mean?
I mean, look, they're all out there, people queuing up for another dose of hate and fear. Like, of course they are. That's all that's on the menu, so that's what you take. But when there's an alternative, see what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a reason to leave the queue. After all, and here with a move that is so smooth that he must have practiced it. He absolutely must have practiced it. He reaches up, grabs his shirt, and with one quick rip, he tears it open to reveal a blue undershirt with a stylized S on it. And he says, I'm fucking Superman. And he turns to Anush and he plants a kiss on him and he says, I'm going to be in New York for a while, love. But I'll see you soon. Keep fighting the good fight.
Stay in touch.
No.
Hafthor offers the firmest handshake, filled with respect and admiration for this man.
What are you doing?
Look, people got a lot in them. A lot of love, a lot of fear. And those can drag them either way. But they're always Hitlers. Big ones and small ones. The ones that feed the fears and promise safety, that give everybody a scapegoat to beat on to feel safe and holy. And it works. Whether it's Jews or gays or people with the wrong religion, the wrong color, the wrong traditions, the wrong kind of ways to be a person, it works. It turns people into monsters who will stand by as the bigger monsters do their work and feel safe, pristine, chosen. What does that say about them, that they can be led to evil so easily, while goodness must be gently force-fed until it's accepted? I don't fucking know, man. I wish I did, but I have to give them a reason.
What has gotten into you?
Life, man.
I must say, you are extremely noble and selfless. And though your skin is made of steel, I'm afraid they're gonna break you.
Hmm. If I break, I'll come back.
Promise me you'll come back.
Promise. Pinky swear.
Don't cross your fingers this time.
And he turns without another word. Our camera follows him. He lifts up one hand, grins, takes a deep breath, and shoots off into the air to become the world's first, but not last, public superhero.
I think Anoush sees him flying through the sky and thinks one thing. If he doesn't come back, Anoush will burn the world.
Yelena reaches out and takes Anoush's hand and holds it in hers and just kind of pats his forearm. He's doing something to be proud of. And he'll be great. We'll see him soon.
I don't care about greatness.
I know.
As long as he's fulfilled, that's all that matters.
Hathor, still whittling what looks more specifically like a horse this time, pops into Hanush's head and says, "You see, old friend, it took Pagan 800 years and countless rebirths, and he found his true calling, his true purpose. Not a henchman, not a sidekick, not an afterthought of a lover to carry a backpack of a man, but to be an inspiration and a hope. Your curse is your gift, because you have endless opportunities to find the rebirth that is the true Anoush, and not be a slave to your prior inclinations, situation, or any other thing. You can choose whatever you want to drive you and be who you are. That's what you've never understood."
I think Anoush smiles, nods his head. And then there are people like me who will never understand. You're right. There is a loathing inside of these walls, and then walls start to appear in my mind, and doors that just travel up them. Some you would have to fly to. These walls hide so much hate. There have been many rebirths, Hathor. And with each one of them, I trust myself less and less. Whatever this grand design is, I want to put it to an end.
Then for once, in 900 years, we're on the same page.
Good.
And out of there, Hathor nods his head at Anoush and begins
Anoush
to
nods
whittle
back.
again. And then he goes back to whittling.
right, let's jump to a later time. You found a place to set up and be temporarily safe. What are y'all doing there? What is the next step? You are being hunted. You're being there are people, your people, unsafe across the world. You're not sure what's happened to Veermond. Um, what are you doing to move forward?
I I would like to know what Cheryl Moore and the families had done. They had received funding, and at the end, or rather, as they were all standing on the gallery after the Challenger, Yelena had turned everybody that was there and couldn't explain anything, but she told them all to get human rights lawyers, and that their family would need them to fight for them.
Okay. Yeah, they followed your advice. They got good lawyers, and they are currently, as far as you know, safe. Um, they are fighting for the rights of their loved ones in court, um, but things are not going well, legally speaking.
Okay.
Dio wants to release all of the dirt that he has on every shitty politician that is pushing the narrative of anti-empowered people and doing everything in his power to discredit those people, because that's the dirt he has. If I could, would that be contacts?
That is contacts for sure.
Okay.
You can take a help action from me.
Awesome. That is one. I rolled +3
Nice.
on something that's already a superb.
Nice.
So just that gets me to legendary. With the help, gets me above the table, and I'm going to spend Dio's last ever fate point to bump it up 2 more as a big old fuck you to the government.
I love it.
Can I ruin the Bush legacy? That's from Eli. Can we ruin the Bush legacy, please? They both ruined my childhood and adolescence. Thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh gosh, with a roll like that. So you
Wait, what role is it, by the way?
contact.
Contacts.
I would like to help with that.
But one more.
+7.
Half door sees Dio, and there's probably an overlap on contacts and people they know, and is like, hey, give this person a call too. That's it.
So +3 plus, because I used a fate point to add to +2. Yeah, +7 to superb.
With a roll like that, the name of the bush is going to live in absolute infamy, like more so than it would anyway.
In the
And
best way possible.
uh, there was already a lot of instability in the government that they were sort of reacting because of Hathor, what he had done, and they were, trying to sort of recover by focusing on this bad people must protect the people from the bad people thing. But with this is going to help a lot, and the specific people who are at the forefront, including, of course, George Bush and his cabinet, are being absolutely shredded in the public eye. This does not mean, of course, that things have become safe for you, but it does mean that there is more of a chance to find sympathetic ears, for sure, and it means that there's the possibility of resolution in the future.
Yeah, he definitely, like, his whole idea is to, like, make it so that all of that background noise that the government uses to, like, block out the good voices is cut a little bit more. So there's more of a chance. And then Dio gets another boat that's meant to be lived on like forever and travels the ocean and sticks. I mean, he's going to be with Mirwine and the ocean, and Hermes can come and go, and he will obviously make port when he needs to, and if he needs to make business. But for the most part, this last endeavor reminded him why he stays the fuck away from these people. No one can be trusted, humans and empowered alike, and he's not gonna have anything to do with it.
Okay.
So he's gone.
Dio takes off in his houseboat to live on the Atlantic with his love, Mirwine. A happy ending for Dio.
I think there's a moment where Yelena's sitting on a dock and she just kind of reaches her hand into the water and swirls it around. And she says, I understand better than most what it's like to love a stubborn man. And I wish you both all of the happiness in the world available to you. And if he's ever willing to hear it, it was really nice getting to know him. And Yelena looks like someone taking a year off college to backpack. She's changed her hair. She's wearing like chunky boots and hiking clothes. She's ready to set out.
Nice.
Yeah. I think we're going to be making our way from wherever we were. We're going to make our way to get Ida.
Anush also looks like a crunchy granola hippie now, just as they make this journey.
Nice.
David, you're mute.
I feel like Anush is the template for what Forrest Gump ends up wearing in the movie. I feel like that kind of outlook when he runs across the country.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm picking up.
Amazing.
I would, canonically speaking, many times, because it may or may not be something I do in my real life, Halfdoor talked about hiding gold in safes everywhere around the country. I would like to, at cathedrals, in the middle of town squares, in city halls of towns that he established, all these different places and things, go cross country and find these poorer communities, these people that fascists find to easily turn over, right? The least informed and the least connected from the actual problems, right? Somebody who's almost never have a chance to meet an empowered person because there's no reason for them to. And if they do, that person never really reveals themselves. And he thinks if Pagan can do it in the big cities, I can help here. And as he goes across, he first would like to start disseminating the real history of the United States and just like give oral histories of like, this is how this really happened. And these are the ways in like all across, and not even just the United States, but the world, right? Point to these things where things could have gone significantly worse, and very clearly, and it's all those like weird history times too, right? Where it's like, and then inexplicably, Hannibal turned back, or like waited 2 days, or you know what I mean, like those kind of like, and it's like these are the explanations. These are the people, and like share with them the tenets of Eternatus, right? To like do no harm, to try to not to least amount of involvement, like in terms of like manipulating the history, other than again to just like reduce harm, and then also do good, right? Give a lot of this money away, pay off debts, clean up like whatever things we can. You just like pop into a town in a night, stop in a bar, find out the gossip, like disseminate these rumors, talk for hours, and then Yelena goes and like fixes a drought that a farmer's been having. And then Anush and Hafthor and whoever else, right, go and like fix some tractors on like an assembly line kind of thing, right? Or like all the, you know what I mean? Like all this kind of stuff. Yelena heals some sick animals. We do like whatever we can. Josh probably is the most popular. Just kind of a fix-all for moderate to lower problems, right? And we just kind of fix a lot of this stuff as
Does
we move.
Josh stick with you three?
I don't know if
Yeah.
he comes.
Yeah.
Who is all going on this cross country trip? Like, what's going on?
I would tell Hild to not. I tell Hild, you have to get underground.
Yeah.
We need to find Loki and whoever else, the people that can like move fast and do whatever, and you guys need to get somewhere. So I don't even want to know where Hild's going. I would want to know like you're with someone we trust, which I think Loki's probably the best in terms of being able to like move quickly and the longest life and resources, and maybe we don't have any other like speedsters or like anything like that, huh?
Hermes.
But Hermes is out on the ocean.
No. Hermes is free. Hermes is his own person. So
Then he would ask. He would ask.
Dio-
I would ask Hermes if he would be willing to help
Hermes
out.
and Pegasus
keep
are
Hild
dating,
safe.
so I hate you.
What?
Never. Hermes would never.
Excuse you.
That's not Pagan's type. That's not Hermes' type. As far as I mean, like that'd be Dio would be like, that's surprising.
Yeah. So yeah, he would just ask Hermes then for the help to get Hild somewhere safe. Probably. I think Courtney, it probably makes a lot of sense. One of those, like, there's one coven in upstate New York that's like, we're waiting for the return of Yelena. Right. Or what was her name? Brown? Something Brown, right?
Alice Brown.
Alice Brown. We're waiting for the return of Alice Brown. So I don't know, but whatever. Like however they go, he would just ask Hermes for help.
Following wherever Yelena is, whoever she's with, there's usually a few ravens flying around and two big wolf dogs named, where did I put it? Skull and Hati. Yeah,
I love that.
And they're there. They're companions, but they're also defense if they ever need it. Big old gray wolf dogs.
Nice.
Also, that now that he's not the CIA director, Hathor immediately starts getting tattooed again.
Oh, Yelena's so happy.
Yelena, can you speak to animals? Is that something you could do?
I can't. No, not like Leofsten, but she can sort of convince them to do something for her, and then in that way, sort of build trust, build rapport, right? What would you like, Anush?
Really creepy.
Oh, I love it
I'm
when
so
you ask
sorry.
me that.
I think like sometimes while you sleep, if like we like share a space, I like rest my head on your foot and like just talk to the dogs or like connect with them and get to know them.
Yeah. You know, you can also just do that with like really good belly scritches and snacks. But
I could, but I
if
think
this
Anush
gives-
like fully talks and has intelligent like conversations with them while people are asleep because he doesn't sleep.
Okay.
like a crazy person.
Does Anoush have to re-up? Like, because he technically has taken Ida's powers before. But that was, like, before this last time. So, like, you have to do it again?
Yeah, he would have to.
Yeah, I have to,
Got
like,
it. 'Cause
touch
Ida
every
can fully
minute.
talk to animals. Yeah.
Well, once you find Ida...
Good luck.
So going on this trip, making good in small towns. I love it. You are having an effect. And you're going across the country to meet with Ida. Is that true?
Yeah.
To try.
What is Ida up to?
Not in San Francisco.
Where is he?
I imagine that you don't know. I imagine that the snipers also came to Ida's bar
Mm-hmm.
because all of Ida's shit was probably also in those dossiers.
Yep.
So with an epic stealth that I rolled just a second ago,
Nice.
they bounced into the wilderness somewhere. But if people wanted to follow the stories of cryptid sightings, that would be the way to do it.
All right.
They are off the map. Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I was going to say, once again pre-established, canonized way of Hathor and Ida finding each other before long-distance communication was finding the sightings of Sasquatch.
Yeah. So if you guys follow those, then it would be Pacific Northwest. Somewhere in the wilderness of
It's a really good place to
Oregon, Washington area.
Satellite imaging is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Mobilization is extremely difficult. In the 80s particularly, there wasn't as much infrastructure. Pacific Northwest is an excellent place to wait out the government.
They know.
Yeah, as Hathor says, as he's headed into Oregon.
Oh, this was a good idea. Oh,
Good
they
work,
listened to
Ida.
me. Good.
Because Ida knows what they're doing.
All right. So following the rumors of Sasquatch, you managed to stumble upon the big hairy beast itself.
I would actually like everyone to roll a notice to see if they can find me. Can I ask for that?
Absolutely. Try to find Sasquatch.
Good luck.
Uh-oh. Cam's having audio issues.
Pause.
I rolled abysmally bad. But everybody else can get a +1.
So that brings mine to an average.
Cool.
No, sorry, it brings it to one below average.
Oh,
I apologize.
Beautiful. Well, let's see.
I think Yelena, to give an explanation, Yelena and Hathor are very much enjoying their time together again.
100%. And without the prosthetics. You've got the tattoo. You've got you instead of like you do the traditional tattoos, but then you also have like a tattoo on your back that's like a place to put like souvenir tattoos, like spoons, tattoos of spoons. It's like, I went to this small town. So if you follow the stories of Bigfoot sightings and Sasquatch sightings, that's what you would do. Sarah was like, okay, you find Bigfoot, and I said, no, roll notice.
All right.
So what did everybody roll for notice?
I got a +1 from Yelena, but I got a -3, so I'm one below average.
Yeah. Right there with you. Had a mediocre.
Oh, that's insane. I used a +1 from my enhancement ability, and I got a fantastic.
All right.
Great, make it an epic because you also got a +1 from Yelena.
Oh, I did add that. That was part of the fantastic as well. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Um, uh,
But if everybody's doing it, I'll burn a fate point and use making up for lost
You're-
time to get +2
you're
to it.
good,
No,
but no one
I
else
just
does.
wanted to do
Okay,
what everybody
great.
else did. I want legendary.
You see um a very familiar, well, not familiar because you never know what Ida looks like.
Yeah.
Ida is Ida. Ida is basically in their original form, in a grungy t-shirt, jeans, flannel, looks at you, goes, and then fully walks up behind Hathor with a with a rifle to the back of his head and
Oh.
goes, "Hello." Just as a fun, not to shoot him, just to be like, just as a gotcha, as a fun sibling ribbing.
Oh dear God.
Hathor pulls his hand out of Yelena's pants and immediately puts both of them up.
Back pocket, folks. Back pocket.
Listen,
Yeah, totally. I was reaching, pulling something out of her pocket.
he was going for the 70 vibes. It's okay, we get it. Okay.
And then he hears Ida's voice and is like, "You son of a bitch!" Brings him into a big hug.
Holsters.
And in Ida's ear says, "Don't mind the smell of my hand." Just kidding.
Oh, come on.
you're.
I'm gonna quit. Bye. Good night. This is it.
Goodbye.
Come on. All right.
All right, sorry. Yeah, he just says, "It's so good to see you."
Yeah. They give you a big hug Yelena, hug Anoush, look confused at this person if Josh came. Like, who's here?
Oh, this is Jesus Christ.
I've got questions. Right. Okay. Everyone follow
No,
me.
no, 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 no. Hey, just real quick, he didn't do that on purpose. The dickheads. He doesn't. I know you got a lot more questions, but just that part, we already asked that a lot.
No. Yeah, mostly. I don't really care about any of that. I was more of a social Christian. Like, a cultural Christian. We weren't really allowed to understand any of it. And then by the time I was able to form my own thoughts and feelings, I really learned that all religion is real bullshit. So none of that. Very academic for me. Let's go, and leads them to their safe house, which
Really,
is a burrow.
really quick. Really quick. Anoush was gone that whole time, and in his place was a really old man. Just the second you hugged
Great.
him, Anoush was an old man,
Great.
and was kind of upset that nobody noticed, and then walked with you and left.
Honestly, not the weirdest thing I've ever seen him do. Well, and Ida knows that you can borrow.
Yeah.
Like, they did that knowing that, don't know what the noob thing is, but they do understand. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a joke, and nobody understood it. And a minute later, he turns back and was like, just shrugs his shoulders.
Well,
You're getting better at them, though. It's good.
I'm sorry, what happened? It was something.
Nothing.
And-
Cam
and
turned
you
into an old man because
I was distracted. No, that's Hathor saying that.
What?
What?
Anoush made a joke.
I rolled a 2 below average. Hathor is in his own world for a while, I think.
Just having a nice walk in the woods with his wife. Wow, it's all nice.
They found some
Oh,
really good mushrooms that Yelena didn't
Yeah,
have
that's
to
what it
grow.
is.
a gun. Yeah. So yeah, Ida brings you all into their very well established and very well provisioned safe house. Because fun fact, guys, one of their new aspects is, oh no, they're a prepper. So Ida's ready. Lots of guns. There's a full artillery. There is a lot of food, a lot of drink, a lot of everything that could possibly be needed to to hunker down and be whatever. And also there's game, because they also turn into a wolf and a bear and all kinds of things, and they hunt, and they have learned over the many years with the many indigenous tribes, have learned how to, like, tan and do all these things. So they are, yeah, they can't tan, but they can tan hides, not their own, only burn.
Just gonna skip right by it.
I can't. You're very expressive, also pale face. It's very so yeah. Settled in, drinks all around. So what the fuck?
Yeah, Halfdoor, do the thing.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. That's a thing I can do. Yep, no force. Yeah, it just gives you the, like, whole play-by-play, same thing. And I think Havdor has learned how to, like, if he connects people, take pieces of their own and give it to, like, not take out of their brain, but, like, the same stuff, right? Like, funnel in what everybody wants to give, as far as so you can get, like, the whole picture.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. That explains a lot. A very similar group of people raided my bar, but I got out. I mean, really, honestly, they should have known better. Fillmore did a shit job of preparing them because, oh, it turned into a fucking mouse. They couldn't find a fucking mouse? What an idiot. Anyway, but yeah.
Well,
So what I've been keeping track of the news. I understand that that's from this Dionysus. All the shit coming out is the work of. Okay. So what are we doing?
Surviving for the first part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe next steps is try to figure out where they have Hippolyta or Vermund.
Sarah, have we heard? So have by this point in time, have we heard that Hippolyta was taken in Greece?
Yes, at this point you have.
And where was Vermund?
Oslo, Norway.
Oslo. So we know that, and he was taken.
Yes.
Okay, I know that he was okay.
First, he was beaten almost to death by a crowd, and then he was taken.
In the short term, I think it is important that we gather and save as many of us as possible as a plan going forward. We learn that our purpose here is to prove our worth to some sort of hidden entity. We need to either figure out how to do that, or we need to figure out how to eliminate that threat. I know that goes without saying, but I want everybody to know that that is what's on my mind.
Right. So I'm not a big fan of having to prove myself to some weird fucking cricket monsters. Although I'd love to see one.
Well, we don't necessarily know that crickets, they could be different life forms entirely that rub their legs together to create some sort of noise, like tentacles or something.
Flies also rub their legs together, so
that is correct.
It could be more disgusting.
Great. I would love to see them so I can steal them. But anyway, neither here nor there.
In that moment of conversation, Halfdoor has the movie The Fly birthed in his brain.
Oh, yo, also totally forgot. Is Jesus with us? Jesus is right next to us right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't trust him at all. And I think that comes out of my mouth, and I look at him, and then I look at Halfthor and signal him that I would like a private conversation.
Let's all sit awkwardly while they have a private conversation. They're doing it again. Anyway,
yes, they are.
while they go off into vacant stares, Ida would have a conversation with Yelena and Josh. But anyway, go ahead. What's your private conversation, Mind Palace boys?
I was actually gonna say that once again the four of us are sitting
Loop it
in Belgrade, but if you want to be
No, I'll do. Yeah, I'll be part of it. It's like, hold, please, Jesus.
Yeah. That's the other part. I think we already talked about that. It's like it's not like you go. It's like instantaneous. It's not like you go like.
Yeah.
All right, so you're talking in the Mind Palace.
Mind Palace.
Yeah, we're just in a little bar in Belgrade, a little public house. Maybe
Thor's
Gilgamesh's
hammer.
old place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I asked for this, but even in this moment, I feel like he can. I don't trust that man. I think he has a lot more power than we realize.
I mean, he's got miracles, so yeah, probably.
Well, think about it. We gain our powers from what we want in the moment, but he was an infant. All he wanted was to live, and you're nothing but possibility. Why wouldn't you be able to do anything?
I would also imagine, based on the biblical tomes, that potentially his mother chose his power because he was a miracle.
He also might be
Anyway.
one of the things controlling us.
If he is, then he is. Anush, I understand your reticence, but what are our options? He stays with us so we can have more control over where he is and what he's doing, or we cut him loose, and then what? If he's a bad person, then he's going to go and fuck around. Like, what's better, control or the unknown?
You have one fatal flaw that permeates everything you do, Anush. You make the evidence fit your conclusion. You are an awful scientist.
God.
You come to a conclusion and you say, oh, that explains this. And then you move in a way that makes that reality happen. I understand that we should be suspicious of everybody. And I get that there was some complications with your powers and some other stuff. Is it possible that Josh is a mole or part of the control or whatever? Yes. I have yet to see any evidence that actually indicates that. I've seen evidence that indicates we don't fully understand the scope of his powers. I've seen evidence that indicates that we don't necessarily understand how that interacts with his memory and his lives and what that means and why they wanted him. I have not seen anything to indicate that he is some sort of mole necessarily. It could mean those things. It could lead down there, and we should be prepared for that. I agree with you. I think the idea of settling on he is creates an environment where everything you see next is, well, yes, he's a mole.
I agree with that
Yes, you are a
sentiment,
bad scientist.
but I do. That's where I was going to. I resent that. I feel like I am testing a hypothesis, and if it is incorrect, I will adjust. But at this moment, that is the hypothesis. But fuck you, rude.
God,
We watch and
I
wait.
have not missed this. This is adorable. Anish, I understand your fears and your concerns. It is a valid fear. It's a valid concern. We are all under attack. That being said, what you are offering fear and concerns with no solution to go along with it. So, we have two options here. We cut him loose, which I think is a terrible idea, or we hold on to him with the knowledge that we don't know this man. We know each
I
other.
just would like to take the opportunity to share all of my
Sure.
hesitations. I'm not saying we should do anything. In fact, I think the safest option would be to cut his head off and kill him. But I don't think that's acceptable. I think I think you were right. I think we should keep him next to us. I did just want to share that I don't trust him and am hesitant to
Perfect.
just let you know.
I think we're all on the same page.
Good.
Yelena.
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you for sharing your thoughts before they became actions. That's all. And we've already discussed why you can't have his head in a jar because I don't want to carry it with us.
I understand.
Yeah.
Also, if he's not a mole, then I would really like to have access to some miracle powers. So, yes. I say we keep an eye.
Well, to be fair, if he's not a mole, we can just put his head back on.
You know,
Wild. Actually, to be honest, hey, Hafthor, remember that first night together when he just fucking cut something off of it just hurt himself on purpose, and we were all like, the fuck?
My hand into
Again,
the
I
fire.
turned
Yeah.
True, again, it just illustrated perfectly for me why you are a bad scientist.
That's
You
exactly
came
what
to the
scientists do. I was
conclusion-
testing a hypothesis.
No. You declared a statement that if he is not a mole, his head will reattach. What evidence do you have that will happen?
His power. He can to
How
be
do
fair,
you
that
know?
is
He
also
doesn't
a
regenerate.
hypothesis.
Exactly.
It is a hypothesis.
It's an assumption. You made one hypothesis based off an assumption. Thank you for
we don't-
illustrating my point.
We
There's a
don't
lot of
start at
science
his head.
experiments
We
tied into
start at
one.
the
It's like a
finger.
turducken, okay, or a Russian
Hey, you know what
nesting
I've
doll.
done to the people who conducted unauthorized hypothesis-based science experiments that result in death?
I do, in fact. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yes.
Listen,
so
this
moving
is a
forward,
hard space to
what are we
contain
gonna do?
and filter myself because it is my brain. I just want everyone to know
Again,
that.
we just don't jump directly to his head. We do finger.
All I'm thinking about is cutting off his head. That's it. That's all I'm thinking about. And then everybody just starts seeing Josh's head fly around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
let
all-
me
I
leave the
go.
group chat.
Can I leave the chat? Where's the button?
Yelena has left the chat. No, come back. Okay, what's the plan?
Meanwhile, you're all having this mental conversation, and Josh is just sitting there eating corn nuts. Oh,
Oh, there's so much good
So
snack food in
suspicious.
here.
Gotta chop his head off.
We all
Hottie-
miss him turning water into wine.
Oh my gosh.
Hottie has learned to beg at Josh's side because he just can't help it.
Me.
Okay, great. So we've got all of that off of our chest. Wonderful. Moving forward, Pagan's doing great superhero things up in New York. It's wonderful. We love to see it on the news. Yeah, I don't know. What are we doing next? I would like to try and get Hippolyta and Weirmond, even if it's just information on where they are. I don't know, we could still try and release further records of things we've done in the past, like military service and innovations throughout history, so on and so forth. We have all done things to the betterment of society. We could make a very big public show. I don't know. I really don't. I'm all ears.
If I'm being very candid,
Go ahead.
I want to find the 12 of them that were made from me.
Yeah.
I don't think it is as much a priority as saving everyone, but it is where my head is at.
No, that's fair.
Anish, I agree. I think that if we can keep tabs on this group, that's important. But I know you, and I think that it is a very poor decision for you to have any contact with them at all.
It is my life's work made by someone else from me. So it is very difficult.
I understand, but that's why you cannot have contact with them. You cannot be. Listen, I love you. You are my brother. I love you. You are very bad at being objective. So we need the information. We absolutely need that because we should know how these powers are moving. But I am begging you as your sibling to be to to step away. This isn't like, I don't mean step away from everything. Know the knowledge, but also know that this is not something that is going to be, you cannot handle this. None of us can. And I think the biggest thing is, God, you from the fucking future came through and said it's all a red herring. So why listen to yourself. Let's focus on the important things, which the important things right now are us. It's our family. It's trying to find some level of cohabitation with the rest of the world in whatever and in whatever that way that means, whether that be publicly or privately. But I can't even begin to think about this cosmic fucking moral question of who has value and who has worth. That's absolute bullshit. So I am also really, for the way future goal, let's figure what the fuck that's about. But these 12, they're not worth, we need to keep tabs on them as best we can, but they are not worth our energy and our time. We have bigger fish to fry.
I care less about who they are and more about what they carry with them.
Absolutely. And
It
we
is a
should know that.
long-term goal. I am afraid they do not have our longevity. That is why I feel this urgency. My point is they might be something that these beings don't have control over. And if we can figure out how to not do that, but do something they don't expect, we might be able to stop them.
Wonderful. So we spend a little bit of time tapping into whatever contacts we have, whatever resources we have to find that information. That is not your skill set.
Cracking one of them open and discovering what made them be is one of my skill sets, but I do understand this.
But yes, that is your skill set. It is also a terrible idea.
Agreed.
That is about 50 steps forward. Like, let's deal with finding them and getting the basic information of who they are and how they function. We need information. Understood. You should not get hands on them. Not for a while. We cannot have any more of these surprises. We move with caution.
No surprises.
So we do need to figure out who in our family can be trusted. That
Wanted poster with Gilgamesh's face shows up on his own bar.
I don't. Yes, again, as Halfslow says, it's from what I've heard. This Jesus Christ person is not
Josh. He prefers Josh.
I prefer Josh. Jesus Christ is awful. Anyway,
I call him by his full Hebrew name.
Josh, Jeshua, is. It doesn't seem that he has given any indications, while Gilgamesh has, being the first of us, is very. There's a lot of things that could add up to him being a true problem, and maybe he's not. Okay. But either way, where has he been? So he's not somebody that I necessarily will be putting my trust into. And I agree with Halfthor on that. Hippolyta, we need to find vehement is imperative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that he is no longer a child. None of us are children, but he will always be a child to me.
So that's where we're going first. I'm going to try and find them.
And find information about the 12 that we can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
informational
think
only.
we have to measure our lives differently. I learned that in Belgrade from our friend Robert. That in the 500 years between Hastings and Belgrade, there was enough time for that for England, for Europe to have anti-pagan, hardcore Christian sentiment, and then that wash away and return by the time of that 500 years. I cannot say for sure, and I'm inclined to believe that with the proper motivations, our persecution may persist, if unattended. But I think we're looking at decades here.
I agree.
And I think, unfortunately, there's gonna, I'm not, this is not to say I want to go save the boy and Hippolyta and whoever else needs our help. That is what I am saying is that my primary goal is survival and protection. I think we do what good we can. We change what minds we can. But they're gonna get better weapons. They're not gonna know what I can do. They're gonna know what Yell can do. They're gonna know what everybody eventually, and they're gonna develop stuff. I've seen these weapons development programs, and what's coming is not going to be good.
No. And to that end, I have a request. Because the one thing that they do have that we have not had, most likely, is open communication.
You want to get in contact with everybody?
No, I mean between us four.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I've been meaning...
There have been too many secrets.
Yeah, I got a big one. But it wasn't like a secret on purpose. It was more of a secret because I couldn't know who we could trust. And I didn't want to say it over the phone to you. Or Yelena, even. And then he explains about Odin's computers. About this. And he's like, I don't know if it's caught up yet. I doubt it because, again, Yelena didn't even know. There's one employee that actually works for the company. So,
yeah, things like that. Can we not have any more of those secrets? That'd be great. And I don't mean with the full conclave, because God knows it didn't work out for us last time. But the four of us, we are family. And I know that I trust every single one of you with my life. And I will kill to protect every single one of you. And while there might be disagreements, and they look at Anoush and Halfthor, like, there might be disagreements about how we go about things. We can't have secret machinations in the background. We are one agenda. Please, I just ask for that. Because I know, that this arm of St. George is not acting as a body. They are acting as a single limb.
I've never kept secrets from anybody.
I know, darling, I love you. And this is mostly pointed at my brothers.
I
And
kept
myself.
one secret. We hadn't talked in.
Oh,
I
no,
think it
Mr.
was mostly pointed
CIA.
at
No,
me.
that's bullshit.
What other secrets have I held?
I don't know. I just know you did a ton of CIA bullshit. I know. I just don't believe you. This is also not just this. But anyway, you know what I mean. We
Yeah.
amongst the four of us, transparency.
Agreed?
Yes.
So, Josh, what do you want to do?
Oh. There are people in danger, and we need to help them.
We're going to go try to. You are welcome to stay with us. I just want to make clear you're your own man. If at any point you want to depart, appreciate a heads up, but there's going to be no effort to hold or chain you or anything like that. And if there's any other way we could help you get to where you want to go or what you want to do, let us know. Okay.
Before I was kidnapped and experimented on, I didn't have anyone that understood me, and now I do. So I guess I'm sticking with y'all for now.
Yeah. There's not quite 12 of us, but if you start calling me a disciple, it's over.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No,
I'd be real pissed.
I wouldn't do that.
And Hathor gives a joking smirk.
Did you honestly not did you honestly not know that there were other people like you that just wouldn't die? Like, truly, you had to have heard whispers.
I mean, there were always legends of gods and heroes, but I thought they were legends.
Are you just a profoundly uncurious person?
My
Behind his
curiosity-
head, Hathor is nodding his head very slowly.
I'm not sure. I have concerns with the people in front of me and what I can do to help them.
I understand that.
I do understand that
I don't.
in theory.
I know you don't, dear.
Wow. Okay. So, listen, I feel bad asking this, but is your mother still around?
No.
Can I roll an empathy on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks.
I miss Dionysus. His empathy was so good.
What if the Virgin Mary was, what's her name? Helen from Troy.
Never. Stop it.
Virgin Mary was hot.
Watch it. It's gonna be Helen all over, Linda all over again. Fantastic.
This whole Challenger thing, Linda never once mentioned. We love it.
That's going to be so funny when Sarah narrates a cutaway to Linda alone in like a lab in a volcano, the caldera of a volcano.
It's her. It's been her the whole time.
She's the head of the Arm of St. George.
I got a fantastic to see if Jesus Christ is lying about his mother.
As far as you can tell, he is not lying. He seems to think that she is out of the picture.
Good. Sorry.
Were your parents affected?
What?
He's talking to Josh.
Yeah. Did your mother have an abnormally long life? Like, how much of the Bible is real? Like, about your story? Like, anyway, I can't, we can't, absolutely cannot get into this. So, no, like, did you part ways? Did she die? I don't know.
Yeah, she died.
Listen, I feel like I'm being very callous. I spend most of my time as an animal, so I'm kind of bad at the human interaction thing. So know that I don't mean it in a harmful or like derogatory way. I'm really bad at doing the people thing. So I am sorry for your loss.
That's all right. I understand.
Right. Okay. So, Greece or Norway?
Ooh. I mean, I know where I prefer, but maybe we try and get what information we can first to see if there's. I would assume security around Hippolyta would be much tighter than it would be around Vermund. She's more of a physical threat than he is. And we might have better connections in Norway.
There's some Ragnar Industries outposts.
Mm.
And I spent a decent amount of time there.
We also have our place in Switzerland. Things get really hot in Europe.
I mean, if it hasn't been.
If the Swiss did that, I'm going to become the king of Switzerland.
Hathor,
All right.
Hathor, I think it's safe to assume that everything that we've ever done has been busted. Information gathering. Don't trust Gilgamesh. And this is all out loud. Like, there's no more Mind Palace. Information gathering, Mind Palace. Not Mind Palace. What did I just say? Information gathering. Don't trust Gilgamesh. Again, I don't know that I necessarily care about saving everybody, but I do want to know where everyone is, which is contacting Hurrit. If we can get.
Where did Hurrit go?
Yeah, what do you think Hurrit would want to have done in here? Because he would have been.
I would imagine he followed Hild.
Kept Hild safe. Right. Okay. So we need to get in touch with Hurrit to see if there's a way.
We need
Yes.
to bring everybody together.
I don't know if there's a safe way to do that, though.
So then don't try to be safe. I think we say it out loud in the hopes that Hurrit will contact, and then we can change the plan from the very loud over the waves into more secure means and find a real connection.
Maybe Josh can help you reach out.
Oh my god.
He helped Hurrit.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, he boosted. You ever have that mirrored memory? It's almost like I was there. He boosted that. Thanks, Hathor. Radio Hathor.
Are you willing to try, friend?
Of course.
What? Metapigeon. What are we rolling to make things happen?
Will.
And for Josh,
are we able to help with that? Yeah. What's Josh's empathy? Probably.
Yes, it is empathy for Josh.
Okay, so Josh can get a +1 to his empathy, and Hathor will get a +1 to his will. I've never described how her bless works, but I think she sees like motes of gold, like strands, and she'll pull on them and twist them around her finger and push and pull to give the +1 or the minus when she needs to. But...
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any way because I've got Will on it's average, but is there any way that Ida can give help with that kind of thing, like as a bolstering sibling, like?
Just whisper
It's
in
fine if it's
Josh's
no,
ear,
but like,
provoke. You better do so good at this.
I can't fucking do that, but like,
Yeah, I don't
as
think so.
it's fine. Yeah, no harm in asking.
Yeah. All right. So what you got?
I rolled a +1 to my superb, and then what? Would you give me a +1, Yelena? Yelena? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then superb +2.
Epic.
Yeah.
All right. Marvelous. With that, you are able to get into contact with Hurt. And we're gonna pull back a little bit. You get in contact with Hurt. You bring people together. There is, over the next years, there is struggle to survive. There are a lot of political problems that you get to get caught up in. But for the most part, you survive and ride it out until what happens? What do you think finally brings it back to a place where you can be at least reasonably safe in the world? What do you think changes?
How long does this go? Right. I kind of alluded to it was both a meta thing and also like something I've been thinking about afterwards, character, right? In terms of like, gotta stop measuring in even years, right? Like
Yeah.
years are more like moments for us. So I have an idea of something, a catalyst event, but I also want to know like what, so like have people like been straight up extrajudicially murdered, or like is there like weird like almost Nuremberg trial style things for empowered people, or are they doing like
Yeah, it gets bad. It gets bad like that. And it's different in different countries. Different nationalities have different ways of handling it. Some are more accepting, and some are much, much more oppressive.
I think that the main thing that eventually gets us back to a normal is what Pagan is doing. I think unabashedly using our powers in the public eye to help quote unquote mortals or non-meta humans over time like garners favor for us. Like I think there is that like as technology keeps rocking up and keeps advancing, there's the dissemination of information. There is like people taking videos of us. And I think there is definitely a little bit of production value to this. I
Mm-hmm.
think there are some of us who can disguise ourselves and play villains or do things that could stage very much like what Sinestro does in The Incredibles. Uh, we can solve problems we create to garner favor.
Mm,
I think we take a page from comic books and lean into the subservient aspect of superheroes.
right. And there are, of course, actual supervillains out there now to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is to our favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get Hippolyta up, and she's actually Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like,
think after like 25 years or so,
Mm,
somewhere around there. And I don't, maybe it's one of the French soldiers, or maybe it's someone we're not super familiar with, one of the Egyptian gods, or some other person we maybe previously didn't even know about. I think Hathor reaches out to hear it and says goodbye. And I think that Hathor takes Yelena to her favorite place, wherever they are, sources whatever he could, and explains that he wants to turn himself in.
Why?
We do these things. We run, we fight, and we hide. And we help, and it doesn't help. And we soothe, and there is no reciprocal soothing. And we aid, yet none is given to us. They want to use, and because I would, like you said, right, there's a degree of these different trials. So I would imagine there's one where I would get more of an actual trial. Sure, the determined outcome is probably the same, but they got to go through the process, the due process of a trial.
Right.
So if that's the U.S. right now, that's like the right whatever judicial protections we could have built for those years, right? Or if it's like some sort of other European country or African or wherever, right? Asian, whatever country is the one that is the most quote unquote humane process.
Sure.
I don't know a wheel of change that hasn't rolled over blood. And
If
there is, I am one of the largest symbols of both admiration and anger, hate, whatever you want to call it, because of my position. There are plenty who are fans of John and Alice Brown. There are those in the LGBTQ plus community who count us as disciples of Ida, their patron saint. There's plenty of communities you build. People forget. These politicians, they're fucking cowards. They build years of political capital. They build years of goodwill. They build all this stuff, and they sit on it. I spent 1,000 years doing good, building up goodwill, establishing legends. And if there's a time to spend it, I can't see any more of this. If there's a time to spend it where I can get a chance to change more hearts and minds and get a platform to say the things we want to say and need to say, then I want to do it, if that means not another one of us dies. If that means that all those that aren't like us, that have died in these lynch mobs and these crazed pogroms who were just a little different enough. I know this weight is unfair to you.
She takes his face in her hands and looks into his eyes and says, "Then we do it together."
Okay. And then but we have to tell Ida.
We have to call Ida because
Gonna turn
she's
into
gonna.
a typhoid rat and kill us in the cell.
Hey, remember the whole thing
They're
Tom
gonna
made
shoot
about
us.
being fucking transparent with the whole group, with the four of us? Remember that whole conversation? We all promised to do that?
Yeah, we gotta let them know.
And
Okay.
then we go to the other room, I guess.
I mean,
Back
listen,
into the,
yeah.
I don't know if we're I just don't know if we're together or whatever.
Yeah, no. If
I figured
I
we
think
were.
that it makes there's some good sense to having a base that is well established and off of the radar. So yeah.
One that changes every few months or years, or election cycle when a new conservative government runs on getting these aliens out of their country.
In these 25 years, have we lost anybody, Sarah?
Yes. And I did not prepare for who. But
we've lost people.
Can we roll it?
Oh my god, that's
horrifying.
How would you suggest doing that?
We have a list on the Excel spreadsheet, 1 through 20.
Sure do.
Pull out a D20 on a fake game.
I think you roll first the number, and maybe you tell us or don't, right? On a whatever die you want of how many you think went, and then you just roll the D20, and it's Russian roulette.
We haven't added. We need to add more to that because we haven't added the challenger.
But they also have people that. I'm assuming Sarah has people she doesn't want to die narratively, so she just has to remove those people from the list.
That's true.
All right, I'll roll a die, and then if it's someone that I can't have die, I'll tell you.
Okay.
9.
That's Hathor.
Perfect.
We'll skip Hathor. What's the next NPC?
In progress.
Let's do an NPC instead. 17.
It's Yelena. No.
It's 17 is Lucian from Ticonderoga.
Lucian can die.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Whoa! So casually.
The moment in spoilers for Critical Role where Ashley has to pick between Orem and
Yes.
I'm just gonna roll a D20 to see who I save. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway.
Is he the only? Is he the only one?
Wait, I'll roll.
No, there's one more. It's number 14.
Say it's Josh.
No, it's Yelena.
No, it's not number 14.
Next one, just say Josh.
Is number 4.
It's Josh.
Kukulin. Is Kukulin?
Kukulin actually has a death wish, so that would not be.
Oh, whoa! That's
Blaze of
so
Glory,
sad.
baby. Honestly,
Wait, what's his new power?
I was gonna say I don't even know if he made it out of the initial push. He like Order 66'd it. I would imagine.
Yeah, Kukulin. Bye, baby.
But you have to tell us what his new power was first.
He never learned. He never knew.
That'll be off the chat. That'll be in the back chat, guys. All right.
Oh man.
Okay, so you're turning yourselves in. Fine. I understand. What is the goal? Please do not go into some hypothetical moralistic sermon, please. What is plain and clear, what is your goal?
I think I understand, Ida.
I need to hear it from them.
Okay.
To change hearts and minds. It's always been what it's been. It's always
All
what this
right.
is about.
I think they have hunted us. And sometimes they've won. More often than not, we have. I think we have tried to do what it is that we need to do on our terms. And I think if we go peacefully and we offer to do it on theirs, there will be maybe less resistance.
My goal is to show that I would rather give my life if it means that they will stop hunting us and in that process hurting many of those who are not the innocents that are the byproducts of this violence. I want to show I do not hope to die. My hope is to beat them in their own arena, to cause enough social and political and disruption of understanding. Right now, we are fighting on the other side, right? We are the underground videos, but we're censored, and we're the shared cookbooks and secret histories, and they're burned, and people are silenced, and people are suffering for supporting us. And I want to show that all that we've done to the public, to the those who sit and watch the news and just hear the headlines of violence erupts as metahuman resists. 30 dead in attempted raid of metahuman base. And I want them to hear from our words and see if they can the many ways that all we have aimed to do is to reduce harm. And I feel like this reduces harm.
And I think we're the ones to do it.
I would agree. So, you will go. At this point, Anush, did you take up the offer of working for Odin's Computers?
Oh, absolutely. I think I also live with Hathor and Milena.
We're all together. We're in our little commune.
Yeah.
I will continue to go under the radar and get as much information as we possibly can. Do as much damage as I can in the just as I'm going to do what I can to make it to make any damage I do look like it's on them. I don't mind getting dirty.
All right. Hathor and Yelena, you turn yourselves in.
I think Hathor flies them because he's a dramatic bitch.
Yeah.
To the steps of the Supreme Court. And they wait.
You do not have to wait long. You are taken in. How are you treated? What is the political situation? Okay. You are treated with some respect and brought in. You are incarcerated for some time, but eventually you are allowed to speak, and your words are heard by the world. And that is where we're going to pull away. And next time, we're going to go into the future together. Thank you all for joining us today on this rather momentous episode of Halley's Children Challenger. It's hard in the world right now, and we hope that you're doing all right. If you need company, if you need fellow people, come join us. Join our Discord. Talk to us. We're just trying to make it like everybody else. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. See you next week.
Goodbye.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.